Welcome to Time Warner Cable's Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance. Glad you're with us. Our guest, Ivan Minsal, he is a captain with the LAPD Valley Traffic Division, and many of us are parents. I am of elementary school children, and so we're often very concerned about what happens first thing in the morning. We drop off our kids. It's a very chaotic. Things can go wrong. You're working to make sure they don't.
Well, I work with Valley Traffic, the LAPD here in the San Fernando Valley works with the LA School Police, LA Unified School District, the schools. There's 262 of them here in the San Fernando Valley. We work also with the CHP and any public safety. The kids are our future. And in the morning, between those hours of 7:30 and probably 8:30, give or take 15 minutes or so, they all want to get in before the bell rings.
Right.
So it's a very chaotic time for parents to drop their loved ones off. And there's a few safety tips I'd like to share with the audience. In the morning, it really starts in the morning when you get in the car to come to school. You got to make sure your kids are buckled up. And my advice to all parents, grandparents, and child caregivers is before you turn the key on, make sure you've accounted for all your kids or all the people in there. And I say that because you hear these tragedies where parents have run over their kids or they're trapped in the door, and that's 100% preventable. All they need to do is account for the mouths they have to feed.
You know what's tricky? When you're in the car, the kids start making demands. Turn down the music. Give me a Kleenex. Give me a pen. And that can be incredibly distracting. I will admit on the air right now, my daughter 5 years ago told me to change the music, and guess what? I rear-ended someone on the freeway because of her request. You
need to be 100% focused when you're driving that car. But you also have to be 110% focused with your children. So it's a double-edged sword. And before you start that car, you need to account for your kids. And when you get behind the wheel, you're actually protecting your kids. When you're behind that wheel, you can't be distracted. You can't have your mind someplace else on the kids or where you need to be.
As you're heading toward the school, often there are crosswalks. What safety tips do you have in connection with crosswalks?
When you approach a crosswalk, you always have to look for the unsuspecting pedestrian who's going to cross in front of you. You may have the green light, they may have the red light, but they're still going to cross.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, who cares who's right? If you hit someone, you hit someone.
So it's important that you're always aware that as you're approaching the school, and especially young children, they're not fully understanding or cognizant of the rules of the road or what that light means or any of that. All they know is they got to get to school before the bell rings, or they need to see their buddy before the class starts.
What about behavior in the drop-off line? I feel like that can often be a recipe for real pain.
The biggest thing that parents need to do is keep their cool. Be patient. You will have your turn. Don't double park. Don't park across the street. Just get in line, and it'll work its way through. That's why we always advocate leave with plenty of time. Mm-hmm. This way you're not stressed about leaving. You can take your time. Your child can get out of the car safely and get off to school, and you can have that peace of mind as you drive away.
Let's talk more about distractions. I think one of the most troubling distractions on the roads right now, texting. And when I say texting, I don't just mean talking to someone. I mean reading your email, responding to an email. I do it, and I shouldn't.
No, and unfortunately, it's an upcoming problem that's facing the nation. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, some 3,500 people have lost their lives in distracted driving, which is cell phone use, texting, and then all the other little things, whether it be eating French fries or eating that burger.
In our final moments, what one tip would you offer parents who are watching our program right now in terms of school transportation?
Take your time. Make sure you always watch your speed. Always buckle up. Always make sure they're buckled up. Of course, never drink and drive with or without your children in the car. But always buckle up and watch your speed as you approach the school, because you're going to have those kids who just understand about running.
Captain, thanks for joining us. I'm Brad Pomerance. Thank you for joining us. Back to HLN.